and welcome to the channel Pills of Heaven. In this video I would like to continue with some pills for pioneers of the truth. In particular, I would like to talk about the fact that in the Bible the angels are described as humans in flesh and blood. They use flying vehicles. They are invited by Lot to stay for the night, and they even risk to be raped by the men of Sodom for their beauty. If we carefully read the Bible, something that most Christians have never done and also something that the Church has discouraged for centuries, we can begin to doubt some established concept about, for example, the nature of the angels, and start to consider the idea that the Bible speaks of the extraterrestrials and their flying objects. The word angels come from the Latin angelus and from the Greek angelos, translation of the Hebrew malach, with the meaning of sent or messengers. But are the angels men coming from other worlds? In Psalm 23 it is said, "The earth is the Lord and all it contains, the universe and those who dwell in it." In Genesis 18, Abraham meets three beings in the oak of Mamre. He brings them some water and washes their feet as if they were people in flesh and blood. Then, in Genesis 19, those men go to Sodom and Gomorrah. There Lot invites them. Before they had gone to bed, all the men from every part of the city of Sodom, both young and old, surrounded the house. They called Lot and asked him, Where are those men so we can have sex with them?" This confirms another time that those beings look like human in flesh and blood. Another question while reading the Bible is whether the angels fly with wings or chariots of fire. These objects cannot be clouds because they support human bodies. In Book 2, King 2, book of the kidnapping of Elijah, he enters something that is solid. This is a clarifying verse that makes us doubt that these clouds are just atmospheric phenomena. The clouds of fire can be associated to flying chariots and consequently to spaceships. In the letter to the Hebrews, St. Paul says, "Do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers, as some have entertained angels and they did not realize it," which means that the appearance of the angels can be similar to that of a human. The reason why they have been depicted with wings is because the wings symbolize the flight, but in fact they could just be a humanity coming from more evolved realms, from higher dimensions than ours. And even Jesus, through the baptism, acquired the Christ consciousness. He is an evolved being of the sixth dimension who came to give us the method. The gospel is a manual. We evolve from the first to the seventh dimensions, where is the Father. In fact, Jesus said, "You are gods and you will do greater things than me." The famous contactee Eugenio Siragusa, in one of his encounters, reported what the man of the space told him. "We are not UFOs and not even Martians. What you call UFOs and flying saucers are in truth spaceships equipped with a prodigious technique. All religions in the world speaks about us. Your ancestor gave us the attributes of gods, of angelic spirits, for the wonders that their eyes saw. We are always us. We have seen your word to be born. We genetically possess the first of your kind." The prophet Ezekiel says, "It was like a wheel with a multitude of eyes around," and added, "The beings that were near the wheels were in human shape." After so many thousands of years, the version of the prophet Ezekiel remains unexplained. What did Ezekiel really see? He saw our operational patrol with their space vehicles. What in your initial spatial era you called UFOs and flying saucers. Another author affirming that the Bible talks about the extraterrestrials and their flying objects is Mauro Biglino, an Italian scholar and translator of Hebrew for the Pauline Books and Media Publishing. While translating the Bible, he started making literal translations to corroborate his theory, which affirms that the Bible could talk about the extraterrestrials and their flying objects. If some of his theories could be too hazardous, the claim that the Bible talks about the extraterrestrials and the UFOs is actually very fascinating, at least for those who studied Semitic languages, and also quite convincing. Analyzing the meaning of the term kavod and the term ruach in the Bible, many questions arise. What is it the glory of God mentioned in the Bible and defined by the Hebrew term kavod? Is it a concept or something more concrete? Today we will discover by reading some biblical passages that this glory of God actually makes noises, produces effects around itself, make things trembling, and even more, make the skin of Moses to become radiant. It occupies a space and it is dangerous for the people who are around it. It can pass in front of people and God may or may not have it. In Exodus chapter 33 it is said, "Show me your glory, show me your kavod." This glory is something that can pass in front of Moses. God may or may not have it. You will not be able to see me in front of you, because no man will stay alive while seeing the glory of God in front of him. No man will stay alive when my glory passes. So we can say that God is unable to control the power of His glory, of His kavod. When my glory passes, you won't be able to see it in the front, but only from behind. Those passages evoke an incalculable question. Is this glory a special object? The glory of the Elohim passes through a door and enters the temple. And more, the glory of the Lord came from the eastern way. As soon as Solomon has finished praying, while the kavod of the Lord filled the temple, they cannot enter the temple because the glory of the Lord filled it. The glory of the Lord occupies a space, or it is dangerous for people and animals. When Yahweh descends with glory over the Mount Sinai in Exodus chapter 34, no one goes up the mountain with him. Moses did not know that the skin of his face had become radiant. Then he puts a veil on his face to protect it. On Mount Sinai, when the clouds were lighting and the horns sing loud, all the people trembled because God had descended into the fire. Yahweh begged Moses not to let others to go up, otherwise they will die. What does it mean? It may mean that God doesn't have the power to control His glory, so if someone approaches His glory, he will die. The glory in those examples appear to describe a flying object landing on the top of the mountains. In Exodus chapter 40, in the description of how the glory guided them towards the promised land, it is said, "The cloud covered the tent of the meeting, and the cloud rested on it." In Numbers it is said, "While I was in the house, the hand of the Lord rested on me like a splendor, similar to incandescent metal. A spirit rose from the ground and carried him to Jerusalem." So this is a vision, or they actually picked up and transported by a vehicle to Jerusalem. The Bible is full of passages in which the glory of God makes movement in space. And this raises legitimate questions. Are we talking about flying objects and consequently spaceships? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and more videos will come on this same channel.